Hello, everybody. Welcome to the last episode of the year. This is another Update-A-Sode, as it were. I just want to kind of bring everybody up to speed. So, yeah, we obviously didn't do any episodes, really, in December. Part of that was, work scheduling. Part of it was, as I've mentioned before, I had to work harder to pay that fucking healthcare premium today. Yeah. So... yeah, $502, up from 108. In addition to all the other little silly things that happen in December. Fortunately, our electric bill was lower recently because, hold on. Yes, I'm recording this while I'm driving. Yes, I am using a Bluetooth headset. Anyway, so I just got some coffee there. Anyway. Yeah, we were unable to get together, me and Matthew, to knock out an episode. And that really kind of sucks. But honestly, between work stress and everything else kind of going on, I watched an ICE arrest a couple of days ago. That was not pretty. Anyway, between everything kind of going on and the world being what it is right now, there was just no time this month that I could put aside, because after dealing with a lot of heavy crap over the last 30 days, the only thing I could really do some days was go home and just play Power Wash Simulator and zone the fuck out. I didn't have it in me to even do one of these, and I wanted to. There were a lot of days where I wanted to, but just shit's been tough, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend it hasn't been. I mean, I enjoy doing the show. It's a real labor of love thing. In spite of, having to listen to Candace Owens and figuring out, separating the truth from fiction and learning some things along the way. That to me is genuinely the best part of doing this show, aside from being able to share it with my son. I do learn quite a bit while I'm researching and doing shit, but I just haven't been able to. His time is always a little more forgiving. It's usually a little more flexible, but he works in a retail setting, and it's been heavy for them. And with the new marijuana laws, or whatever happening in 26, who the fuck knows? We don't know what's going to happen, with the dispensary he's employed at or anything. So, yeah, man, a lot of shit's up in the air right now. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I don't like not producing a show every couple of weeks, even every 3 weeks, which is what it became over the last couple of months. It still felt good, but I have only gotten through a few minutes of this latest one that I've been working on. Like literally, I think less than the first 5 minutes or so. On a 48-minute episode. Excuse me. I know I just drank some coffee, but it's kind of a gray day right now. It's snowing as I'm driving. But, anyway, I'm doing my best. We're all doing our best, I think. And so I do want to talk a little bit about, going into the new year. Now that my healthcare premium has been paid, and I know I've got my rent for the month, I'm going to start tomorrow spending a little bit of time each day and working up the next script and getting back into the groove of it. It's just December seems to be a rough month for it, I think. So, we'll see though. Hopefully things are better next December. If anybody is following me on Blue Sky, you'll see I do post on there. Well, I mean, not post. I usually respond to other people, but yeah, I can be reached. I can be contacted on Blue Sky or over email, of course. Recently, a I don't know that I would call the man a researcher, and I'm not going to give up his details here, but a person reached out to me over email. Goddamn, yawning. Anyway, a person reached out to me over email and asked me information about Candace Owens' book Blackout. If I had, sourcing and stuff that I used for our material. I pointed him to our transcripts because the actual material for the Blackout episodes that we had done, that's all kind of offline right now. It's on a hard drive on my laptop that I was originally using when we started making the show, and I have not gotten it fixed yet. Just because shit happens and you forget. Honestly, didn't think anybody was ever going to come ask me for that, but I gave him the transcript information, and which is fight.fudgy.org, and of course we're on there. But yeah, he said he was doing a piece on, not a journalist, I don't think, but he was doing a piece on the splintering of conservative America in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. He said, and of course Candace Owens came up. Well, guess who's running the only critical podcast of Candace Owens? Us, as it turns out, still. So, I offered to help him where I could. I think probably the most helpful thing I was able to tell him was that about the notes section in the back of her book, about how she doesn't really have a bibliography in the back of Blackout. She barely has a notes section. One entire chapter doesn't have any notes. The chapter on education, of course, I think has one, maybe two, if I'm remembering right. But yeah, that was a neat conversation to have for over the course of a day. We were kind of back and forth for a bit, but I haven't heard from him since. But anyway, he's part of some conservative think tank type group, not one that I had heard of before. They're based out of Iowa, I think or Idaho rather. Idaho, yeah, that's the extent. I looked him up. I looked up his org, and it looked fine. Not necessarily people that I would go seek out a barbecue with or anything, but it seemed very middle of the road. So I did what I could. But that's the kind of interaction that I get to have with people because I do this podcast. I have not gotten Candace's latest book, Make Him a Sandwich, yet. I'm kind of hoping my my library system gets it so I can just get it on Libby and screenshot the book and never pay for it. That's what I recommend you folks do. If you have access, if you have Libby, if your library system has access to the Libby app or whatever, screenshotting seems to be something you can do on that app with ebooks. So I would recommend you all do that. Just for any ebooks, really. Authors should obviously get paid. If you've got the money, buy a book you like. But yeah, most of the time, the royalties are so small, unless they're a mega seller like a Rowling or a Martin, they're not. And at that point, they've sold so many books. You getting it on the Libby app is a drop in the bucket. It's kind of a reverse thing. So, yeah, most authors I've ever known, they get paid an advance up front, and then maybe royalties. But again, the royalties are so small; they're barely noticeable. I say that as somebody who actually has sold a few hundred books under my actual real world name. Actually, sold quite a few, to be honest with you, but it didn't. It was never going to pay well. Right? So I haven't shut that part of my life out completely. It's just I don't have the time. And I really enjoy doing the podcast. No one says you have to write fiction forever. I took the skills I used when I was penning fiction and doing research and stuff, and I apply them to this podcast now. So, it's always useful. It's always useful to do a thing and to try a thing, because you can build skills that help you out with other things. That's life. Okay, well, I think I'm going to cut this off here. It has been a genuine pleasure and a blast interacting with you listeners when I've been able to. Whether it's over Blue Sky or Mastodon, over DM or email. Reach out if you need some clarity on something, you want to just chat or whatever. I'm open. Matthew, less so. He kind of has a actual social life with actual humans. So he's got a lot of shit going on. He doesn't tend to respond to anything, but I do. I do pretty often. That's it. I think I'm going to cut this now, and I hope everybody's 2026 goes better than most of our 2025s did. Yeah. Stay safe, everyone. Don't make it easy for these people to catch you. If you're doing something that they don't like, do not make it easy for them. Make them work for it. Yeah. Because all too often lately, they're going after people that the regime just doesn't like, let alone if they've actually broken any laws. So don't make it easy for them. If you're going to do something that they're not going to like, make it harder. Make it harder in every kind of way. All right, everybody, that's it. That's all I got. I'm going to, let's see, my screen locked me out. There we go. Okay. All right, so I am going to cut this now. And again, I hope everybody's 2026 goes better than 2025 did. And we will hopefully see you again in a couple of weeks with an actual episode. All right, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.